Now let the glazing of Isagi begin. Thank you to our $5 patrons, Redwolf4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. Thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Redwolf4765, and a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Before we hop in this breakdown / live reaction and review to chapter 214 of Barou, please remember to leave your comments on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit that notification so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you do a Patreon below as one kind of one dollar. This is the videos, early content, and more. It's now become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the live reaction. What's up, guys? I'm Hunter, and here we are to do a live reaction to chapter 214 of Barou, which is known as Work. Work. I'm sorry. But regardless, I've heard good things about this chapter, so let's not waste any more time. Ending me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell, I do in fact have it on me. And considering we've already started a pattern, I might as well just keep it up. Peak Lock has been peak ever since I started live reacting to it, unlike literally, I think, every other series I've talked about. It's had a consistent streak of like 27 chapters of pure peak. So I'm gonna do a pre-drawing again. We'll see. Maybe I'm getting arrogant. Maybe Peak Lock will just fail to be peak one week. So maybe I shouldn't start this pattern, but Peak Lock has been peak. So I'm gonna say the chapter's worthy before I even read it. If the chapter, what do I do though if the chapter's unworthy? I think I'll throw the sword. I will just throw the sword away. I will be extremely disappointed, and I shall speak 1,000 curses in ancient languages. There we go. That's what I will do if suddenly the chapter is not peak. But we'll see. I highly doubt it. This is Peak Lock, and let's hop right into work. Isagi opens with scoring a thunderous left-footed strike, but instead of being rattled, Ubers commonly regroup and prepare to launch their attack. All right. So we gonna finally see what Ubers move. We gonna finally. What is still there? What is in my way? Fighting with my own terrain. But let's see. Interesting. I've been seeing it everywhere. Everyone's talking about like, oh yeah, Ubers let Isagi score. Oh yeah, Ubers just was, they were prepping Isagi. Oh yeah, and to be fair, I won't even like, I was at first clowning on y'all, but it does seem mighty suspicious. It does seem indubitably suspicious that Pachira managed to eke out one goal and then got reverse hat-trick. Like that doesn't just happen. So maybe this is part of their strategy, but that doesn't seem to make sense. Like, presumably, Nico, at least. Like, I get maybe other people not doing it, but, like, Nico and Aiku would have watched Isagi's other games and prepared for him. So they wouldn't need to, like, analyze fresh off the field. They would probably come in with stats predetermined, for one. And two, if we really think about it, they wouldn't have been prepared regardless. Like, we see, not only do we see Nico's internal thoughts of being like, whoa, he's like challenging us to a speed battle. This isn't like him. He's changed. He's just forcing through us. Our whole defensive line is broken. Like, they were just jacked up naturally, according to Nico's own inner monologue. So I don't think they let Isagi score. I just think they were legitimately caught off guard. And while this is like the best defensive team in the league, Isagi is also like massively better than he was 50 chapters ago. Like, U20 Isagi would get curb stomped by current Isagi. Heck, arguably with just his left foot amp alone, current Isagi would dog walk previous game Isagi, Manshine game, fresh Metavision Isagi. I know it's crazy to say, but it seems like that's the case. He's already gotten so much better in such a short period of time. So whatever data Ubers would have collected wouldn't have been viable. So maybe they're operating like that. But I don't know, especially considering Snuffy's described as like a crafty tactician. I don't think he just sends him into the game blind. Is like, here, analyze after getting scored on. That just doesn't seem logical. At least it doesn't seem to fit within the idea that seemingly is established around Ubers and Snuffy and their entire play style. It seems like if they can prevent you from scoring, they will. But that's just me. Let's see. Isagi is amazing. Oh, here comes the glazing. He goes like, yeah, scored all over. But let's see. A lefty direct shot, huh? That's got to be some friggin' cheat code. But it's impossible to become two-footed in just a couple of days. In that case, that lefty shot of his. Okay, interesting. This has been a consistent point of discussion of like how. how did Isagi suddenly get the left foot DLC? Like, you can't just go into the Nintendo eShop and purchase that bad boy and suddenly bada bing, bada boom, you get the character upgrade. Like, no, this is not real life, but like, you try to become ambidextrous in 5 days. Like, master it. I can't. I can't. I can barely draw and write with my right hand, my dominant hand. I can't imagine trying to learn how to do anything with this one, other than like weird stuff that's already predetermined, like riding my bike with one hand, driving with one hand. I think that's literally it. Like, I don't think there's anything else I can do with my left hand. I think I may have mentioned one more thing in the previous video, but I'll remember it way after I'm done with this recording. And that's it. That's all I can do with my left hand. And those are things that were just naturally predetermined. I didn't work for those at all. So even if, like, you were to give me 5 straight days, that's essentially what he had, 5 straight days to attempt to become ambidextrous, I think it would be legitimately impossible, especially to the speed and precision that this direct shot had. And I do like the common idea going around that in order to intermix and like realize why Isagi specifically got the revelation about this lefty direct shot from Igaguri is the idea that Igaguri said, I will 100% get fouls from my right. So essentially, Igaguri's compensating for his weak left by confirming, no matter what, he's going to get fouls with his right. Thusly, Isagi realizes, okay, in the scenario where I just have access to my regular direct shot, I'll just use my regular direct shot. There's no reason not to. I don't necessarily have to build anything around that weapon. It's already pretty well polished and strong enough on its own. But if I want to have a secondary, if I want to have a backup weapon, like hypothetically, I've lost Fang posted on the back of my chair, but this is the main denotation of worthiness. But if I wanted a secondary, I wouldn't start wielding Lost Vein primarily. Like Kunigami said, I could hypothetically imbalance my body or ruin my fighting style with that because Lost Vein's a shorter sword than my main sword. But hypothetically, if I was put in a scenario where I couldn't use my right sword, because for one reason or another my right arm was compromised, then I could use Lost Vein with my left, just as, once again, an unexpected striking attack. And where Isagi would come in, from what I've heard and what I've seen discussed, is that he uses the weight of someone on his right side to stabilize his core. Because that's the biggest thing. When he got stopped by Sei, what did Sei say? Up. Too hasty, number 11. You need a stable core to perform a direct shot. Can't do that if you're knocked off balance. What did Kaiser say when he came in and stopped Isagi's direct shot physically? Because before he came in and stopped it by just getting in the way. The Chad that Kaiser is. But specifically, Isagi, when getting stopped by Kaiser the second time, Kaiser was like, sorry, I don't know why. I was on a roll explaining too. Hold on, let me sit. Stay hydrated, folks. But when Kaiser came in and stopped Isagi physically the second time, what did Kaiser say? Hey, try to knock you off balance and you can't even use that foot of yours. You're useless. You're fodder. You're dumb, you're bubblegum. You can't use your direct shot. Once again, if your core isn't stabilized. But hypothetically, a way to guarantee core stabilization is if you have a whole nother person there. So hypothetically, Isagi could, as we saw with Ness, just lean on Ness, have Ness stabilize, and then have his left shot literally just be... So he still has the stabilization that he needs and just an easier shot. I don't think he could do anything fancy with the left foot like he hypothetically could do with his right. Like, I don't think he could perform an inverse direct shot with his left foot. But a basic straight shot, he could do that reasonably within 5 days, as long as he's leaning on somebody, leaning on a wall, getting that core stabilization. So I like that idea. The fact that it's only specific to that scenario, because in every other scenario, Isagi's always going to use his right because he's still right-footed. At least that's what I think. I like that idea too. It seems like Aiku, someone who understands strikers the most, wanting to be one in the past and obviously being one who shuts down strikers all the time, it seems like even he knows, okay, I see what you're cooking there, young fellow. You can't trick me. But let's see. Not bad. I like you. You're definitely not worth 50 million. I guess that makes you an ace, same as Mikkel. Is that okay with you? Fine by me. Just make sure you don't pick the wrong guy to mark, zombie. Okay, Isagi, you gotta stop. Okay. Don't, because I love it. But, like, does Isagi realize that he just calls people, like, outrageous things? Like, this is casual usage of that. And, like, to be fair, what is his team name? Like, I can't even say the name of his team. I can't even say the name of his team without being afraid. For obvious reasons. But, like, I guess... But he straight up calls him a zombie blank. Dog. You're on live TV, bro. You're on live TV. Like, how do you explain that? I'm not sure. Because notably, I know I've watched enough professional, like, sports in general, not just, like, soccer or football or anything like that. I've watched enough professional sports that I know that, oh, yeah, you cuss on the pitch, like, all the time. Like, I've seen it. And on infinitum, even the highest level of play, like, people who have argued to be, like, top 5 players of all time, they will cuss each other out, like, live on air. It's just usually it's so loud you can't hear it. So maybe that's what he's banking on here. But bro, like, imagine going into your interview, or like you're going to meet the owner, and then they just pull up like pull up a YouTube video. Top 10 Isagi discrimination moments. Like, legitimately, what are you supposed to do? I don't know, Isagi. Watch your mouth, Brody. However, I wonder, maybe that's just a mistranslation thing every single time. But why does he call Michael Mikel? Like, I know, it's okay, get over. You know who you are. You always call Kaiser Michael because you just want to disrespect them. And I get that too. Like, people go, I know Regular Pat, wonderful Kingdom Hearts YouTuber. If you're looking for Kingdom Hearts content and somehow found me, yet have not found Regular Pat, go look at Regular Pat. Has amazing content. He just dropped a Chain of Memories novel versus game video. Wonderful video. Wonderful channel. Please go check him out. But if, like, he always calls Mickey Mouse Michael Mouse, which I always find hilarious. So I wonder why. And you do the same thing. You do the exact same thing calling Kaiser Michael. But he's not calling Kaiser Michael. He's calling him Mikel. I wonder if that's just like the name. Like, notably, my name is different in different languages. Like pencil or lapis. Like, how would I say my name in Spanish? Ese niño con el lápiz? Ese niño con el lápiz? But that's the boy with the pencil. What's guy in Spanish? I don't actually know off the top of my head. El hombre con el lápiz. I'm pretty sure. That's how you would say my name, but that would be like that man with the pencil. Which sounds somehow, that sounds way more ominous. That reminds me more of John Wick. That man with a pencil. Watch out. There's that man with the pencil. But there are differences, right? Like, you don't say names across it, but notably everything's being universally translated. So he's specifically not saying Michael. He's saying Mikel. But that may just be like a form of disrespect, like calling Kaiser Michael, I guess. Is it really disrespectful calling someone by their first name? I don't know. But let's see. I guess once again, Kaiser translates to emperor. So, like, essentially you are calling him emperor. Or no, it means emperor. I don't think it translates emperor. I'm not exactly sure. All right, let's see. Don't get confident off of scoring one lucky goal, little kitty. Yeah. Hey? Yo, okay. I know it's so weird to think about, but I believe since he's part of the new Gen 11, he's also like 19 at most. Like, he's not 20 yet. So, but like, this is so... I can't think of any context where I can't throw hands. Nah. I was joking about throwing hands, but I'm far from a violent individual. I'm very baby. Trust me. I'm 4'3", 97 pounds soaking wet. So I'm not a fighter, not a warrior in the slightest. If you see me at Comic-Con and you say I'm lying to you, no, I'm not. I am 4'3", 97 pounds soaking wet. But with that being the case, why? Like, once again, you're on live TV, bro. You're on live TV. Don't get confident off of scoring one lucky goal, little kitty. Meow. Like, bruh. Like, the thing is, it doesn't even fit into his brand. Like, it'd be one thing if he said, be careful. You may get consumed by a zombie yourself, little boy. Or even the little boy would be a little bit concerning there. But, like, you may get consumed by a zombie yourself. And then, like, make a chomp motion or something like that, or a chomp noise. Then I think that would be more, like, fitting to his brand and his ego, as it's been shown to us. But, like, where did the cat come from? Where did the cat come from? Little kitty? Like, we really, like, where's the correlation, bro? Like, what provoked you? What provoked you to say that, Donnie boy? What provoked you? But let's see. All right, Ubers. Time to get to work. Ooh, they about to pop off. Finally, they said, fine. We'll start whipping it up in the kitchen right here, right now. Okay, cook then. Cook, chef it up, chef it. I wish I don't keep plates on me in close range, but I would like legitimately grab a plate and grab a fork and a knife and just put it on the plate. Like, I do want to see them cook. Let's see. So now I'm assuming he's gonna start getting Michael treatment. But I don't think that, the thing is, he says that makes you an ace, same as Mikel. Is that okay with you? So I'm assuming what's going to happen is he's going to have everyone focus Isagi, but not himself. I think he himself is still required to shut down Kaiser. Like, I think letting Kaiser breathe at all is just not a wise decision. Like, I don't, like, especially considering the man's a monster. Like being completely real, we have never seen Kaiser go all out. Even when he was facing the world's #2, we have not seen him go all out. We've seen him enter a variation of flow. At least what, in my opinion, is classified as flow. Black Scalara is flow to me. I've heard arguments that it isn't. Look at Flow Rin. What are the main signifiers other than the veins on his face? The Black Scalara. What is Shido's signifier of flow? The Black Scalara. What is everyone's signifier of flow? The Black Scalara. But regardless, we've seen him do that, but we've never seen this man sweat. And Kaiser's still been, like, appearing literally everywhere. Bro's essentially omnipresent on the field when you really think about it, and how he's been playing in these past couple games. So, like, I think we may see Kaiser, like, finally, if not go all out, really start to sweat a little bit if Lorenzo keeps holding him in place. Because right now, he isn't just legit competition. Noah straight up said, yo, this game is to determine the king of BM. There's no more games, no more trial runs. Whoever wins this will have the subservience of the other for the final game, which I think is wise for Noah to say, because I think even Noah knows. Like, even if he doesn't fully understand the capabilities of PXG is going to undoubtedly be the hardest game for BM. Like, even though I think Uber is going to be a monster and annoying as all get out to get through defensively, in terms of, like, just sheer offense on offense, which is essentially what essentially what BM versus PXG is bound to be, offense on offense. PXG offense is crazy. Like, even if Shido's still trying to get in the way of Rin, everything else on that team is absolutely bonkers. And with Karasu there, it's not like their defense is going to be shoddy anyway. So it's entirely possible that things go absolutely crazy in that game. And that's not even including the hypothetical addition of another New Gen World 11 on there, plus Loki. And who knows how Loki's going to use his 3 minutes. So there's so much up in the air with that game. So I see why Noah's like, yo, take this game to squash all your beef. This is the last time you got to play around. We're going to determine the king right here and now. But with that being the case, Twin Kings, I think Lorenzo's still going to focus Kaiser, and we're finally going to see Kaiser show out. I don't think we're going to go through this entire game without Kaiser scoring once. I think we are going to get a Kaiser impact. If what happens, like I think is going to happen, Ness getting swapped out for Hiyori or something like that, if that happens, I'm assuming we're going to have to forcibly see Kaiser go all out on his own and prove why he himself alone is a destroyer, rather than working with somebody else, which may push him into flow, may push him into a high ability. Because I do see Ness getting swapped out, because that play was treasonous. It's not like he meant to help Isagi there. But let's see. All right, Ubers, time to get to work. Oh, maybe, I'm not sure. Can you swap somebody out after a goal? Maybe not. But he could call a timeout and swap Ness out. It's crazy that Noah's letting Ness play. But I guess he's specific. Now I think about it, the reason Kaiser didn't do it and the reason Ness did it is because it was Kaiser and Isagi who were told, stop messing with each other. Don't get in each other's way anymore. Play the game. But Ness was off that list, so maybe Ness won't get swapped out unless he tries to mess up again and Noah's like, hold on a second. Unfair play. It's not like Corona's fighting you, Kaiser. Ness, come and get out the game. But we'll see. Kunigami gonna be a focus this chapter? Let's see. Barou and Sendo. And it looks like I can't tell who's who here, so I won't even try to analyze that. I managed to score a goal. Okay, focus. Time to skill the... At random, I swear, my throat just dries. Stay hydrated. And also, did you like the video? I'd appreciate it if you did. You don't have to, but it's free, helps the channel out a lot. Thank you. I won't spam this constantly, but it just came to mind. But I'd appreciate the help. But regardless, let's see. Okay, focus. Time to steal the ball and score another. Lorenzo's not moving up. Ooh, fancy? But then again, I guess he only did move up in response to an offensive press. Like, Lorenzo is inherently a defender. Like, sure, he's a fantastic midfielder too, but he only attacked when he was counterattacking, ironically enough, because BM did start the game with the ball, and then they zoomed. Lorenzo came in, shut it down, and then pushed back up, and then you came in. So it makes sense, Isagi. I'm a little shocked why you're concerned that Lorenzo isn't attacking. That's not on his agenda, Isagi. Isagi, you gotta think a little bit. Use that Metavision of yours. Nah, let's see. Lorenzo's not moving out. Oh, okay. Schmovin. Sendo and Nico outdoing Kunigami. That's so it. Like I'm wondering what Kunigami's position is gonna be now. Like maybe the mangaka's just saving it for PXG, because obviously, like, if Kunigami versus Shido, if that rematch doesn't happen, I'm gonna question if the Blue Hawk mangaka knows what they're cooking. I'm already a little bit up in the air with what they're cooking with Nagi and Rayo, so it's entirely possible. And I did get a fantastic comment on the Rayo video, how like the Neo Eclipse League is kind of a what if of first selection, so that is kind of neat. But then again, Shido isn't even introduced. That's the thing. Other than Zentetsu, I believe, I don't think a single character on PXG was introduced in first selection outside of Zentetsu. I'm not mistaken, right? Because it's Tokimatsu, who wasn't introduced until second selection. Tokimatsu was until second selection. Karasu was until, ironically enough, I don't think Karasu was until third selection. He wasn't introduced until there. Rin, obviously second selection. Shido, second selection. Yeah, I think legitimately out of all the Blue Lockers, Zentetsu is the only one. So I wonder what that what if will be. But let's see. Even the speed of their offense is kind of slow. They're prioritizing possession and slowly inching their way up the field, as if they're waiting for the right time to flip their switch. Either way, the focal point of their attack is still definitely Barou, as long as they manage to keep track of his forward runs and mid-range shots. He can shut him down. Okay, let's see. I can devour... sorry, devour them still seems so funny to me, but I can devour them. I can see everything. Okay, interesting. So, okay, taking a slower paced game. That actually kind of makes sense, right? Because I don't think these games have a set time limit on them. It's just first to three. And with that being the case, there's no point in rushing offense. Especially considering if they can, like, crowd the upper field, like crowd near the penalty box, or flat out just crowd the penalty box, Barou's ability to score goes up way higher. Because now every single defender is being mobbed by, like, all the Uber's offense. And by slowly building up the field, if you just burst up the field, if you just straight boom, 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 like straight through, you're going to be running through midfielders and defenders, not to talk of the strikers who are sitting there waiting for you. So, like, you have a whole bunch of people, and you essentially would just have, like, the three people, like, let's say it's just Sendo, Nico, and Sei, or not Sendo, Nico, and Sei, Sendo, Nico, and Barou. That's three people. You can shut down three people. You got Yukimai, the one-on-one Emperor. You got Raichi, who can probably shut down Sendo. Yukimai can probably take Nico, and then Isagi still shuts down Barou. That's still a three-peat. Meanwhile, if you do take your time, you build your offense up slowly but surely. Not just Sendo, not just Nico, but also this dude who I don't know, and also this dude who I don't know, and that other dude who I don't know. Like, all these different people, you start crowding the upper field slowly but surely, suddenly it gets a lot more chaotic. Though, interesting. Once again, I stand by what I said in the Barou video. I think he does need some sort of secondary player. He does need another striker to succeed properly. Because what Isagi says here is true. They aren't going to, like, I don't see Nico scoring on his own. I don't see Sendo scoring on his own. I definitely don't see this. Like, I don't think a goal is going to go to this dude, whoever he is. Don't see a goal going to this dude, whoever he is. It's always Barou on this team. So you shut down Barou, and what? The team is kind of done, unless you have a secret secondary striker. And I do like the idea, once again, on the Barou video. This is what I love. I love making content in advance of these chapters because I can reference it. I'm sorry, I forget who commented it, but specifically they had mentioned maybe Sendo's going to be the secret secondary striker, or Nico, or heck, let it be Aiku, since he wanted to be a striker in the first place, and we've seen in the U20 he's more than willing to show up and show out. Have it be a scenario where Barou is built up as the king's team, or the team's king, the team's main focal point, but while Isagi's so focused on Barou, so locking in on their structure, the one striker, we've already seen that Ubers can flip up their structure like that. Lorenzo can come up and become a central attacking midfielder like that, and Nico can fall back. The team structure is essentially not optional. Optional is the wrong word, but the team structure is flexible. So Aiku coming up and being a real striker, sort of like forcing Barou once again into the light and taking advantage of Barou's shadow being cast over the field as the quote-unquote real striker. That's a goal right there. But then again, Barou got the only thing that confuses me with that is Barou got a hat trick. So the idea of them having I see it's, I mean, maybe once again, it's just Aiku fails and Barou comes in and takes it from him. It's like, okay, fine, you mess up, I'll do it. But then Isagi would know that. So it's obviously not in their game plan. Because we know Isagi has reviewed all their footage. So it's not in their game plan to have a secret secondary striker, at least based off the previous game. But it's likely they've adapted for BM, so we'll see where that adaptation goes. Let's see. I can devour them. I can see everything. Yeah, okay, I do like that though. So Isagi is definitely moving, he's moving buttery. However, once again, this was pointed out 2 weeks prior, not the week before. But look, Isagi sweating already. He got 1 goal. And sure, the pace of the game, even with them slowing it down, is extremely fast. But he may gas himself. I think he's going to start doing what Kaiser does to negotiate with that. Like, notably, even Isagi mentions Kaiser isn't always in Metavision. He isn't constantly taxing his body like that. So I'm assuming Isagi's 100% is going to come with either more efficiency or he's just going to turn it off sometimes. Like, you don't always need to be doing that. Particularly on, like, particularly on, like, defense. If he knows to shut down Barou, he doesn't need a Metavision for that. So, intriguing. Though it looks like we're getting a flashback. So let's see. Aiku. Welcome, gentlemen. You may know me already, but I'm the master for Ubers. My name is Snuffy. Nice to meet you. So carefree. Yeah, kind of like a laid-back older brother. He's so ugly, though. He is so ugly. Like, hold on. Let me level with you real quick. I suck. Plot twist. I bet you weren't expecting me to say that. But I suck. Specifically, well, in a lot of ways. I can't cook to save my life. But, like, I suck, particularly at drawing. I'm not a good artist. So here, take what I say with not a grain, not a drizzle, not even a bag. Take what I say with a mountain range of salt. When I say this was a miss, I'm sorry. Even with the headband saves it more. When we saw him a couple chapters back and he didn't have the headband, that made it even worse. But Snuffy's ugly, like definitively. Like the fact that this is one of the world masters disgusts me. Every other world master design hit crazy. Lavahino, fire design. Noel Noah, simple yet satisfying. Chris Prince, swagalicious. Loki, you know my boy Loki. Me and him just like that. Me and him and Shido, we all just like that. But then again, regardless of any of that, he's ugly. Definitively, this is a miss. I think it's mainly the facial structure. I think, like, if I just you can't see it because it's not how I record, but like just covering his face, like the eyes, the nose, I think it's fine. But he just seems so off. Strangely off. Like, notably, there are times where I just can flat out tell Nomura didn't draw that. Like, unless he just randomly changes art style sometimes. Like, a lot of the crowd shots within Blue Lock, there are occasions where it does look like Nomura drew it. Like, last chapter when I made the meme about the big guy pulling somebody when we can't. And I'm speaking French there. But when we can't. Specifically, I do remember mentioning that guy, he didn't flag my, like, this is a different artist kind of look for that. But a lot of the major crowd shots in Blue Lock, they don't always look like they're drawn by Nomura. And I'm not sure if he has assistants or not. I'm not sure about how Blue Lock is produced. I haven't done enough research into that. But it seems like maybe his assistants drew some things like that. And this feels like a design that needed some, like, it needed another pass over. I don't know. I don't think this is a good design. Facially wise, I think the hair's cool. I think the headband's cool. We rarely see characters. I think the only other character we've seen consistently wear a headband is the Nase, so I like headbands. Keeps the hair up. I think everything else is fine. It's just his face. But let's see. Nice to meet you. Kind of like a laid-back older brother. That's neat. Before we start training, I want to ask you all a question. What does football mean to you? Ooh. Fat stacks. At least that's what I assume that Snuffy's gonna say, right? Because wasn't like a major part of his introduction, he's like, oh, he's the crown messenger. He goes wherever he's called and he always brings victory. Like, he seems the kind of guy that he's playing for that bread. And like, to be fair, I don't blame him. Like, I know I give full respect to professional athletes. Like, the amount of conditioning and training and practice you have to master your craft is insane. Like, I play basketball sometimes with just like people, just in general, like I'll go up. If a D1 player, like, or even heck, a D2, D3 player of basketball comes back to my hometown and they're at the courts, they like absolutely body bag us just entirely. They are on a different level than even people who just spend all their time playing basketball because of the competition they need to face. Like, those are different levels of human beings. That takes a different level. And that's like talking about a D3, D2, D1 athlete that just come back to play a few rounds, get a few runs in at the court. Imagine an NBA player. Imagine that. Imagine the level it would take. Like, think of the worst NBA player you know. They would absolutely dog everyone you know and love. Unless you know some of their NBA players, they'd absolutely dog everyone you know and love in a game of basketball because they're just that good. Because they spent that much time dedicating themselves to the craft. It is crazy just how good you need to be even be a bench warmer in any professional sport. And I know soccer is all the same. Soccer, I'd say, it's not the most, like, you need the most insane amount of conditioning and body stress sport. I say that is swimming, because you are literally using every single muscle in your body and at the same time fighting to breathe. Like, you're doing a lot more in swimming than you are in pretty much any other sport, except for like wrestling, where you're like fighting another human being. But with that being the case, even an extremely skilled soccer player, I don't play soccer as much as I used to, but I do remember seeing it. I remember seeing people who used to play like overseas come back and just absolutely dog on people. I still occasionally see it because now Blue Lock has got me back into soccer, so I watch it sometimes. I'll just go over to like the local fields where I live and just watch people play soccer, and you can tell who plays it professionally and who doesn't. So I'm not disrespecting any pro athletes when I say this, but like, the bag is nice. Like, if you had to ask me, if you were to come to me and be like, hey, would you rather work a 9 to 5 at an office cubicle every day and get paid maybe $50,000 a year, just enough to live, for the rest of your life, for like 40 years, that you need to work that for the next, retirement age of 65? Let's say you graduate college with your master's at 24. For the next 41 years of your life, you have to work that. Or, for, at best, there are people like LeBron are freaks of nature. Or would you rather, for 15 years, probably, let's say, first 2 years of college, you were amazing, you went to the league immediately at like age 20. Let's even say you completed college because you want to get your degree, just in case as a backup. 22. Would you rather do the 9 to 5 for 41 years of your life? Or would you rather go play for 15 years, the game you enjoy, and get paid millions, and then get to retire at like 35, and then never have a financial stress ever? And your kids won't have financial stress because you literally get paid a multi-million-dollar contract. I don't think it's wrong to play for a bag. Like, if you're good at it, go play for a bag. I would like to play for a bag. Like, legitimately, if you had to ask me to pick between the two, I would. Even if I would have to dedicate, like, let's say I have to dedicate 40 hours a week to playing basketball. Like, I just have to go to the gym every day and just get the form down, get my stamina up, work. Even better, because I'll be in the peak shape of my life and I'll just be used to that. So I wouldn't like decay. Like, you'll see a lot of people decay once they get an office job because they spend a majority of their day sitting down. Says the guy who spends a lot of his day sitting down whenever he records and whenever he goes to work. But still, that's just true. It's hard to maintain that health-life balance, but you automatically get health-life balance because it's built into your job to be healthy. And you also retire at 35 with multi-millions of dollars. Like, legitimately, if you are just half financially smart and you have a multi-million-dollar contract because you sat on the bench all the time for playing for an NBA team, or playing for a football team, or playing for a soccer team, or playing for any sort of team like that, yeah, that's the kind of the life I'd want to live. So, chasing the bag, I'm not knocking it. And I'm not knocking all the dedication it takes, but trust me, I'd rather do that. But I just never had the dedication, so I didn't. But if you have the dedication, more power to you. I respect it. But play for the bag. Get that money up. Let's see. Well, my dream. Dog, we know your dream. And to be fair, I can't even really knock it. Like, sure, that'd be nice. I mean, that guy with the pencil, like, sure, I ain't complaining. If a Hollywood actress, I know this is going to contradict what I said earlier. Actually, no. I'm thinking of another video I was recording earlier. But if a Hollywood actress is like, hey, be a house husband, and I get to just do this for a living, yes. So, like, I don't even blame Sendo. I can't knock his hustle. But let's see. Everything. Okay, are you? Okay, are you? Everything. Shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. No, okay, to be fair, no. Some people, I do know people who do have that dedication to their craft where it's everything. And I respect that. Something I would bet my entire life on. That's true. He's dedicated himself to playing professional soccer, so he is betting his entire life. I see. All very pure and teenage. Yeah. Oh, yo, Snuffy, real though. All very pure and teenage answers. It's so weird to think that Aiku's at most like 19. How old is he? Do we know how old he is? Where's my Googler at? The Googler's not in reach. I'm not going to go reach it. But I think at most he's 19. Crazy to think Aiku's 19. Bro looks like he has 2 mortgages, 3 kids. But let's see. Okay, answer this. What would you do if you can't turn pro? Huh? What will you have left if football is taken away from you? Like, see, if this were coming from a character who didn't have a nose built like Dr. Doofenshmirtz and the eyes of a cobra, like, I think I would legit be rocking with him more. But it's just that face. I just can't get over it. Like, he doesn't even look like a person. I don't know. That may be mean to say, but this doesn't. But you just bring up a good point. That's one thing. I forget who told. I remember someone had lectured a group of my friends about that. Like, yeah, sure, it's great to have one path, one dedicated thing. But what happens if you lose that? What happened? Oh, no, it was, I think it was literally our track coach. He was like, because people were talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna run, and mostly because a lot of the people who ran track, at least at my school, they were doing it because it was like conditioning in between the football season. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna go college, D1, go to the NFL, yada yada. I'm gonna do all that, get big, rich, famous. And I specifically remember a coach asking us, like, okay, what's your backup plan though? And they're like, what backup plan? And you're like, what are you going to college for? It's like for a profession that'll actually make money. I'm like, oh, I don't need to worry. I mean, I'm going to college, but like, I'm gonna get a scholarship. I'm gonna go D1. Like, I'm gonna go to the NFL. I'm not gonna need it. And coach was specifically like, hey, yo, listen here. I thought the same thing. And I'm out here coaching high school kids. How do it make you feel? Like, well, he did say something like, I know, actually he did. He did say something like that. But it was like, think about it. None of you have the 100% guarantee to beat the hundreds, if not millions of other people who are vying for your exact same spot in a very limited roster of people. You need to have a backup plan. Because your dreams and ambitions, as childish and as pure as they are, as amazing as they are for being childish and pure, they are not going to put food on the table. They will not provide you a guaranteed bag. So get your bag up. Go chase a bag. That's the message I got there, and I assume that's the message that Snuffy's going to promote. Let's see. There's nothing wrong in devoting yourself to football because you love it. But injuries and setbacks do happen. I'm asking, what would you do if one day, for one reason or another, you were no longer able to play football? Yup. This is an interesting angle, especially considering, I mean, I like it though. I like the angle that Snuffy's tackling though. This is a very pertinent point because these people have gambled their lives. Like, if any of them were to have an irreversible injury, they're done. They don't even have, like, they aren't getting a GED right now. Like, at least for maybe someone like Aiku, who went through all the basic stuff like that and is, like, being offered professional club and stuff like that. He at least got his high school degree, presumably. But, like, Isagi is not 18. He's not going to school. He's not getting an education right now. If he breaks his leg permanently and it's never the same, done. People like Barou, done. If they get it, everyone who's not completed high school, done. I mean, sure, they can go back and do it, but they've dedicated so much time. They've lost so much time to Blue Lock. So, hypothetically, if anything devastating were to happen to them, that's it. Their story's over. They aren't going to be able to go back and play football. They've dedicated their entire life to that, and now they need to go find a new passion, go find a new thing that they can do with broken bodies. And that's crazy to think about, but yeah, Blue Lock, as great as it is for, like, impressing ego and teaching self-worth and stuff like that, it's sort of setting these kids up for failure. Like, everyone who succeeds in Blue Lock, or everyone who fails to succeed truly in Blue Lock, like, make the Blue Lock 11 and become part of the Japan U20 team, and maybe the Japan professional team, once they evolve and get older and older. Everyone who fails is done. Like, they're just over. Like, what is... Well, Sendo's an adult, I'm pretty sure. I think he's 18. But, like, what are they really going to do? They can't. They're stuck out of luck, so they do need a backup plan. Uh-oh, yep, see? Sendo's the only one who's scared. It's hard to tell with Nico and Arya. Those who can't answer this question will forever be dreamers. Amateurs. For a professional, winning is a duty and an obligation. Through winning, we're able to earn money and put food on the table. That's what yo. Snuffy just like me. For real, really, Snuffy just like my coach. And I got my ideas from my coach. So, like, I agree. And to be fair, I will admit, I was never approaching track with like, yeah, this is going to be my job forever. I approached track because I like to run. I found getting in an intense 100-meter dash with other people was intriguing. I liked it. That's why I ran track. But I do know people who ran track or played football or played soccer or played basketball specifically for the idea of I'm going to be top of the line, top of the world. I'll be the next Michael Jordan. I'll be the next LeBron James. I'll be the next Messi, the next Ronaldo. I'll be the greatest player to ever play. And they probably did. I know. Long story short, no one from my school, at least thus far. Who knows? I know there were some monsters and beasts at my school. But I would have heard about them if they did become anything so major. Most of them didn't. Like, the ones I did follow after they graduated didn't become anything. And up to this point, none of them have. I'm not saying that they can't still. I'm old, but I'm not that old. But it hasn't happened yet. I hope they have backup plans. And I hope they're able to put money on the table. Let's see. Now, I want you all to remember this. Football is a job. Yep, it's true. I made the comparison earlier. What job would you rather work? The job where you play your favorite sport? Or the job where you work a 9-to-5 in a cubicle? Regardless, no matter what you're picking, it is a job. Snuffy is just like me. Sorry, that's crazy, but Snuffy is just... I didn't read this chapter yet, but I'm already speaking just like Snuffy. Then again, I'm ugly just like Snuffy too, so it works out. Nah, okay. Well, am I kidding? Pause for this. Find out next time on Snuffy Ball Z. Let's see. Think of a club like Uber's as a corporation. Based on that, games are business deals and players are employees. Interesting. Yeah, it makes sense though. Like if you do think of it like a corporation, games, I mean, I guess you could say games are business deals. I'd say business deals are the trading of players and stuff like that, the trading of employees, or like, actually, no, not necessarily. I'd say games are like reports, or like whatever job you would do. Like hypothetically, if your job is to like, well, games is just your job, I guess. If Uber's is a corporation, playing games is working, and players are still employees. I think that's the equivalent comparison. I can see why he says business deals. I've taken the liberty of I've taken the liberty of studying the data of every single one of you. Game plan, offense, defense, situational football. All the various strategies are there in front of you. Holy, that's amazing. He broke down my playstyle in this much detail. What playstyle? Like, there are two characters that are actual characters, I will admit. Like, I don't... Like, the guy I mentioned earlier who I didn't know the name of, non-characters, they don't count. They're victims of circumstance. They're just not named characters. Well, they are named characters. Every single character gets a name. It's just, well, actually, the parents don't. But every single player gets a name. I just don't care to remember. But, like, out of major characters who actually have names and relative importance to whatever story they are in terms of the plot of the arc, like, it's Sendo, Igaguri, and, like, Isagi's old friend. Like, that is the bottom three. I would make a ranking video, but here's the bottom three, my most hated characters of all Blue Lock. Number one is the Isagi's friend who chalked his goal up to nothing but pure luck and excuse me goal that he could have made. As we saw at the very beginning of the series, he couldn't have made a goal like that, so he's dumb, stupid, and ugly, and I hope Isagi runs over and slashes his tires or something like that. Number two, Igaguri. I just don't like, bro. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't. I respect the all -3 Igaguri fans out there. Could never be me. Don't like the dude. I would trade him for Kuon in a heartbeat. I would trade him for Ayamon in a heartbeat. I would trade him for a bag of chips in a heartbeat. And then finally, it's Sendo. And notably, Sendo has done nothing wrong. Like, I don't know. I think Sendo's just a victim of circumstance. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with him, really. But it's just, compared to his competition of who's introduced and got to be characters in the U20 game, yeah, he just kind of got the worst. Like, rough stuff, bro. You just happen to suck. But let's see. Did you come up with all this strategy by yourself? That's right. If you manage to remember all the strategies I come up with and execute them flawlessly, you'll definitely win. You lost to PXG. Well, speaking of which, where is Barou? Where's Brody? I just realized he's not even here. Wait. I just zoned out. But where is Barou? He's not even here. Why is it these four that are actually like? Where is Barou? Did he just not show up? Why is he not here? But regardless, let's see. But in the event we lose because of strategy I didn't anticipate, then all responsibility falls on me, the president. Ah, you employees are the one to blame. Okay, so that's how they explain the loss to PXG. His strategies just weren't good enough. And to be fair, I believe Barou just didn't play that game. So they didn't have a striker. Like, legitimately, they just flat out did not have a striker. So them losing that game does make sense. Because it's great. You can have the mightiest shield, the most gorgeous of walls, the best, most amazing fortified structure ever. But if you have nothing to fight back against, a sword will eventually break through. A weapon will eventually break through. Someone can punch down that wall. Not really. Not in reality, but still, like, I can see how you can still fold without a sword to strike back. If you can't score, you can't win a game. Simple as that. So I can definitely see how things could fail and things could fall to the wayside, even with all this planning and strategy. And I'm assuming the main reason it failed is, and Barou didn't play, is because he didn't want to play by Snuffy's rules. Considering his whole, like, ego is about playing against the rules. But I can see that. Let's see. Let's get to business. Let's go about this business-like, gentlemen. Become my strategy's arms and legs. Okay. This is a better look for him. This is a more flattering angle for him. I like this look of him. I like this look. That's neat. I like this look of him. Keep him drawn like this. Don't draw him like this. Don't draw him like this. Keep Brody drawn like this. This looks better. Yes, sir. Well, yeah, y'all are literally employees and businessmen. But let's see. Huh? It's like joining the army. So much for a laid-back older brother, huh? But let's see. This is the last of my water. I shall make it through the rest of the review without any more. I'll do my best. Let's see. What kind of crazy place did I get myself into? Alright, cool. You know you like it. You know you're into it. Let's see. But it's a rather interesting way of thinking. Oh, Nico. What's Nico's voice? But it's a rather interesting way of thinking. All of his strategies make full use of our individual capabilities. Plus, he prepared different variations depending on the lineup. If we can execute them flawlessly, we'll win. If we manage to survive here, without a doubt, we'll be exponentially stronger. I can see that, but I can't see that. I mean, I guess you can carry these strategies permanently elsewhere, but the issue with building strategies around a certain team is that the team will not always be that way. Your individual, but I suppose if they tailor, it makes sense. It makes sense. Because if they tailor their individual strengths to work in any of these strategies, any of these situations, then no matter where they go, their individual strengths will be bolstered. So I guess that works out. It's always great to see Nico's eyes. We rarely see him. We've managed to survive here. Without a doubt, we'll be exponentially stronger. I will survive. Of course, Aryu. Of course. I will survive. Yeah. We all have an Aryu. We all have an Aryu in the friend group. Let's see. Shah, bring it on. I'm ready. There you are, Barou. Little stupid ass. He's like, I'm always mad because he's like, yeah, I don't want to be part of your strategy, man. But I need to get stronger. I need to beat Isagi, man. I don't want to do this. But I guess he'll probably go along with it because he gets to be the striker. Let's see. Fortune favors the bold and all that. All right. Time to get dyed in the colors of the business world. Interesting. Let's see them do it then. Here's my boy Barou, cooking as he does. It's coming. The rhythm of Barou's meat. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Cut that. Editing me won't. I know editing me won't, but cut that. Let's see. It's coming. Made it worse, but it's coming. The rhythm of Barou's footwork. Okay, Sendo, Barou, link up. Boom, the pass. Birkenstock, getting Birkin cooked. Barou, the muscles, the mass, the gains, let's see. Oh, the rhythm of Barou's footwork changed? All right, let's see. Here. Isagi's about the business. He played no games. Even with the change in footwork. That's interesting. Because notably, Metavision works presumably off an understanding of patterns and the limited movements that an individual can make. So presumably, if someone were to randomly change movements, that's should catch Metavision off guard. Like, notably, I thought, if anything, Barou would be, like, the natural predator to Metavision. Because of what? Unpredictability. Like, it's entirely random what Barou will do, for the most part. Like, the higher your game knowledge, the better your Metavision is. That's why Kaiser's so good with it, because he has so much experience and he's obviously really game smart. That's why Isagi's so good with it. His game IQ is through the roof. That's why even accidental Metavision users like Rayo and hypothetically Sei and hypothetically Aiku are all really, really strong, because their game and knowledge of the game is so high. But Barou, who's like, okay, I also have really high game knowledge, but I will do things that are specifically antithetical to the game. It seemed like it would be a natural counter to Metavision, almost like a predator to it, like a lion hunting a sheep. But it seems like Isagi's Metavision is high enough that he can counter that. And then maybe because he has protagonism amp Metavision, so Barou's unpredictability would fall under his protagonism and sort of just be like, it would be accounted for. Like, it wouldn't be a surprise anymore because Isagi knows it's going to happen. But still, it's very impressive that Barou keeps getting shut down like this. Here, too easy. You all got to do better than that. Get him. Uh-oh. 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 They know to cook now. Okay. Who you, and you, Sendo, like, get them. So they're ready. Okay, they're prepared. Barou, okay, so Barou was caught off guard last time, but this time he's ready. He doesn't even seem shocked. He knows that was going to happen. All right, let's see him cook. Let's see him cook. Abdi? Him? I have no idea. Sendo? Huh? A high press the second I managed to steal the ball? Plus, not only did their pace pick up, it's a multi-coordinated press. What the heck is this system? Isagi! No! My goat Corona. Save him! No! There's no time to use Metavision. Interesting. I gotta maintain possession and interesting. That's weird. But I guess this does play into a weakness of Metavision that was established in the previous game. Notably, Metavision is sort of randomized. Because I specifically remember when Isagi appeared, he did that amazing thing where he came out the shadows behind Rayo and kicked the ball away. The ball ended up at Chris's feet. The randomness of it can still occur and stuff like that. So it appears that Isagi's Metavision is great, but still short-sighted. Like, hypothetically, if his Metavision was to the level that it should be at, in my opinion, it wouldn't have fallen for this. Or not fallen for this. It wouldn't have failed at this. He would have already had a next action prepared. Like, instead of just, like, what it looks like here is that he traps it, lands, and then goes to look into the future. What should have happened is that he should have known that he was going to get there, and then instead of just simply trapping it, since this was a pass, and we know he can casually just one-tap passes like that, he should have been ready, known exactly where Corona was, and instead of like trapping it with the outside of his right foot, immediately passed it with his left foot over to Corona, and it started the counterattack. But instead, his Metavision is limited, possibly due to the protagonism. It's limited to a specific point in time, and thusly he needs to activate it to get to the next point that he wants to analyze before he can do that. So Metavision can still evolve, and the next step for Metavision presumably is to have further steps into the future. Because notably, things close to Metavision that we've seen before. Sorry, my hand is falling asleep. But things close to Metavision that we've seen before, like Rin's puppeteer style, specifically work on an understanding of multiple steps ahead into the future. But it appears that Isagi's Metavision is only very limited to minimal steps into the future, to points where he can have the ball. And that's not good enough, which is good. I think it'd be kind of crazy for Metavision to just be this perfect omnipotent tool that he gets access to so early on. So him needing to do fancy stuff with it, like evolve it to get further into the future, to understand how to use it better, is great. So I'm excited to see where he goes from there. Gotta maintain possession and find someone. Do so. My boy, my other son, my other child. I'm so proud of you, Nico. I'm proud of you. That's my boy. That's my son right there. That's my son, my blind son. The blind one. I see, the blind man said. I see, said the blind man. Legitimately, where are your eyes at, bro? But that's cool. I do like it. Especially since Isagi cooked Nico when he got his goal. It's great to see Nico come back and say, hold on, you ain't the only chef in this kitchen, and immediately counter-cook Isagi. I like that. Shout-outs to my boy. Shout-outs to my boy. Okay, Nico, that's the thumbnail. That's got to be the thumbnail right then and there. I'm not sure if anything else crazy needs to be in the thumbnail, but this is guaranteed. It is a lock part of the thumbnail. But let's see. Too slow. You fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Objective complete. And, okay, so now that they know, I wonder. So this must be a counter strategy naturally built to counter Isagi, or just any ace ever. They know to allow the ace to believe they're safe with the ball in order to draw them in and get them. Nice, I like it. Fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Objective complete. No way. They knew what I was planning? It's kind of obvious. Like, yeah, you're going to steal the ball. But, plus, that whole sequence was just part of their plan. Attack slowly through low-risk strategies. If the opponent steals the ball, steal it back with a fast, coordinated high press. What did I mention earlier? Crowd the upper field. Crowd the upper field, because then it's going to be way harder for the ball to escape. Even with all the defenders and midfielders all focused on that area, if there are so many separate options, so many people just clogging the upper field, you can always sort of keep maintaining possession of the ball. I'm low-key cooking. Call me Snuffy. Don't. My nose is not that. It's big, but it's not that big. But let's see. A highly coordinated team strategy that's impossible to do with just one player. Darn. Strategies, ideas, options. Everyone on Ubers is on the same page. There's the other thumbnail. All right. It's as if those players are one friggin' huge organism. That they are. And look at Barou. Look at my boy Barou leading the way. The scariness and greatness of Italian football is finally unveiled, in contrast to a fractured BM who wins games with individual talent. A united Uber squad wins games with discipline and coordination. Advance, Ubers. Okay, sorry, Snuffy, you look ugly again. I hate to say it, bro. But overall, oh no. The blade is coming out. It's almost like Blue Lock has been peak every week. Wow. Amazing. I feel bad. Like, I feel like I discredit Blue Lock whenever I just joke about it being always peak. But yeah, it's my highest praise. The fact that I'm like drawing the blade at the start of this reactions is something I don't do for any other series. At least not yet. Maybe some series will start hitting as great as Peak Lock does every week, but yeah, the chapter's worthy, the chapter's peak. But why? For what reason is the chapter so peak, Sir Pencil? Has anyone ever actually called me Sir Pencil? People have called me Mr. Pencil before, or Mr. Tuguap, both of which I find hilarious, but both of which are technically accurate. I am technically a Mr. and I am Tuguap, or Pencil. But overall, why is the chapter worthy? Number one, numero uno. We love, we appreciate, we respect some top tier Isagi glazing. I love glazing Isagi. If you couldn't tell. I keep saying he's probably my favorite character. I haven't actually sat down and thought about it too much. I'll make a character tier list and I'll see where my thoughts fall there. But love some glazing, especially from Maiku. Number two, Don Lorenzo. Love my boy. Sure, he built like a stick bug, but regardless of being built like a stick bug, it's cool to see him change attention. And as much as I clowned on him for this, this is still funny. Number three, seeing how this works, seeing how the Ubers, the Italian football is played and thinks about it. Very, very interesting, especially considering what did Noah say? The whole point of this game will be built on 1v1s, but what is revealed about Italian football and how Ubers plays? Specifically that they act as one large organism. Meaning that, yeah, sure, you need 1v1 skills, but in reality, you aren't ever realistically playing a 1v1. You're always playing multiple people at once who are acting as one. So what the real 1v1 is not going to be like actual one-on-one, something that Yukimaya is good at, something that Kunigami should be good at, something that even Isagi's gotten much better at. And no, the real 1v1 will be whoever can turn the 0 that is BM into a 1 and unite the team. That's going to be the real goal of Kaiser and Isagi from this point on, to counter the organism that is Ubers. That's even implied at the end of the chapter. So I like that. That's going to be interesting to see. Number three, Snuffy, as ugly as he is, I like his mentality. I like his message. The idea of playing football as a main thing. It's great to be childish. It's great to have dreams, but focus on the bag. Focus on putting that food on the table. Get your money up, not your funny up. That's the best message you can send to anybody. And I really, really like it. That's heat, that's heat, that's heat. And I love it. And then finally, I'm very, very excited. Super, uber, duper excited to see my son succeeding. I love Nico. He's probably one of my favorite characters. I love him, and I'm happy to see him succeed. And now, the final thing that I'm low-key hyped for, if I had to make a prediction, since he didn't get swapped out yet, I think Hiyori, like he was in the U20, will be the key to uniting, not Ubers, uniting BM. Because what happened here, Isagi couldn't find somebody in the long run and ultimately got devoured, consumed, munched on by the zombie squad. But who has long-range passes that can set up goals from farther away and can interfere? My goat, Hiyori. We got his backstory. We know he can cook, and we know Ness may be on the verge of getting subbed out anyway, and we know Ubers is very good at that short-range crowded field. So if you can take advantage of getting that crowded field shut down, you can do it. Overall, Omega W chapter. Loved it. However, that's what I think. Please put what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that all notifications don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a pitch down below. You result as one, kind of more Dama, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a Maryland channel for as well as 3 years a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Is that by the pencil? Writing off.